first things first, let us hop into this. We have gotten a new Forbidden and Limited List update for Master Duel, which will be implemented in just over a week, March 8th, like 1.5 weeks. Yeah, and let's just go through it. I've seen it yesterday, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't look at it in detail, so I couldn't even list all the changes in my head right now. So let's just go through one by one. We have King of the Swamp going from 1 to 3, which is good because this card never deserved to be on the Forbidden and Limited list. This card, when it went from 3 to 1, it was basically just a help to Master Duel players, because it would help you make your deck better, because it forced you to remove bad cards from your deck. So there you go. Now you have the ability again to build a bad Tearlament deck. So poggers. Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo from 1 to 3 is, quite frankly, it's a good change. Unfortunately, I don't think it matters too much. Like, I mean, it helps, but I'm gonna be honest with you, the difference from 0 to 1 is much larger than from 1 to 3. Like, the one Meow Moo that matters the most is the one Meow Moo. Everything beyond that is kind of just like cosmetic. It helps a little bit, but I don't think that's what's holding back Prank Kids. But yeah, it matters. It's not irrelevant, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not gonna make Prank Kids good, I don't feel like. But it's a fine change for that reason. Because it's not gonna make Prank Kids super powerful, then why is it on the ban list in the first place? So that's good. Water Enchanters of the Temple going from 1 to 2. I personally am a fan of this. Like, my take on this is simple. I'm seeing it in the TCG. The adventure engine is at full power for us, and it is not seeing much play. Pretty much proving the point of those cards can be unlimited and are fine. So I do not mind this, to be honest. Like, I think the adventure cards are scary in some way, shape, or form, but it's just, it's hardly gonna impact the format, I don't think. So yeah, solid change there. I think this is moving in the right direction. We have Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer going from 3 to 2, which is it's a very Master Duel hit. Let's be clear. Like, it's super. This is the one thing with Master Duel that I just don't like this. Like, I think the reason for this is because this is a rare card and they don't want to hit the ultra rares, so don't give you the free crafting points. I think the game can only take so many of these decisions. Like, unironically, this is not a good hit to the deck. It's not smart to do this, and if they do this too often, it might hurt the game in the long run, because they're being weird about it. You know, they're being weird about, like, their ban list adjustments. They're not making the ban list adjustments that make the most sense from a game perspective. They're just doing it, apparently, because this is a rare card and it doesn't give you any resources back, which is not smart, I don't think. So I hope they somewhat change their approach on this in the future. Because this is not the right way to hit Super Heavy Samurai. Like, the Super Heavy Samurai deck with 2 Soul Piercer instead of 3 still does the exact same stupid stuff as before. Just, like, instead of doing it 90% of the time, now it does it like 85% of the time. I'm just like, these numbers are made up. I haven't calculated it exactly, but, like, you know what I'm saying, right? It's just like, you're not changing the core concept of the deck. But you're just making it slightly less consistent. It's not a good hit. This is not a good hit. I'm not a fan of this at all. If anything would matter, it would be to ban this card, which would then be an okay hit. Putting it from 3 to 2 is not smart. It's not a good decision. Parallel Exceed from 3 to 2 does not matter, because every single one of my Mathmech opponents is still gonna open the card, because it is programmed into, like, what's the point of doing this when you program the game to always give them Parallel Exceed in their hand? Putting it from 3 to 2 doesn't make a difference, because they always have it. We know this. Between me and you, we can keep it real here. They always draw the shit anyways, so it doesn't matter. If this goes from 3 to 2, it's irrelevant. They have it anyways. Moving on. Branded Opening going from 2 to 1. Yet another. This is my take on this is the exact same as my take on Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer. Branded opening is not the card that is a problem when it comes to branded. Once again, my theory is they want to hit a card that is a common over a card that is an ultra rare or anything other, like a super or above. This is not the right way to tackle branded. Like, if you want to do something about branded, instead of making it even brickier, even yeah, just change what the deck is doing rather than how often it's doing it, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is subjective whether you think consistency hits are a good decision or not. I personally don't like them, so I don't like this one. And that's it. That is it. Now, overall, I'm like split on this list. I like some of okay, what I do like here is what they are removing from the ban list. That is that they are moving cards the right direction, because Adventure, King of the Swamp, and Prankits are all currently pretty much irrelevant in Master Duel, so giving them some stuff back is a good decision in my opinion. I heavily disagree with what they are putting onto the ban list, you know, with the direction that Soul Piercer, Paralytic Seed, and Opening are moving. Like, I think those are all not the right things to tackle about those decks. Don't get me wrong, all those decks probably deserve some sort of hit in Master Duel. Like, it's fair to hit Branded, it's fair to hit Super Heavy Samurai, it's fair to hit Math Mech. By all means, do that. Just not this way, I think. Just not this way. Just don't move around like, we're hitting the rares, the commons, and we're doing suboptimal changes due to that. I don't like it at all. And another topic is, obviously, I think that's something that a lot of people are going to be mad about, is the fact that they didn't hit any Snake Eye cards, right? To which I say, I understand why you would be frustrated with that. At the same time, it is super recent that these cards came out, so I do understand that from that perspective. Like, you know, they are very strong, but they are also super new. So yeah, they could ban Super Factorial if they don't want to hit Ultras, and I would be fine with that, honestly. That is probably the most frustrating thing, is like, they much rather want to hit rares and commons, right? And we want impactful hits that are not just consistency hits, or rather I want it, right? And the thing is, there are ways for us to meet in the middle here. Like, it's not impossible to do this in a way that both fractions of both sides of the argument could be happy, right? Like, it'd be possible to hit the decks in a meaningful way with only hitting the rares and the commons. Like, it would be possible. For example, you could ban Soul Piercer, problem solved. You know, you only hit a rare card, but the deck still gets hit in a meaningful way. You could ban Scarecrow, which is the same thing that they did in the TCG, which is a super rare, at least not an ultra rare, right? Which they've definitely hit a lot more supers than ultras in the past, so that would be possible, right? That way they wouldn't give us back any of the ultra rare points on Vakaushi or Big Benkei, right? But they're just not doing it, right? They're not doing it. Instead, they're doing this half-ass Soul Piercer. So overall, I think this ban list is not good. It's not a good list. It's not a good adjustment to the game. The thought behind it is fine. You know, the thought behind it, I understand. The execution is not good. I'm not a fan of the execution here, unironically. I don't like it.